It is likely to be another chaotic day for Congress in the U.S. Capitol. Around lunchtime, the House will take another shot at electing a speaker. Republican Kevin McCarthy's bid was thwarted on 3 ballots yesterday. Hard-right members of his own party are so far refusing to back him. And the CBC's Travis Danraj joined us now from Washington. Okay, so it continues. This was supposed to be a triumph for Kevin McCarthy. Instead, it's become, well, a bit of an embarrassment. What's the likelihood he can turn things around, Travis?
Boy, oh boy, what a wild way to start this session of Congress, Arthi. It is a historic stalemate, and that's the question. Can Kevin McCarthy turn this around? Well, we will see today on this fourth vote, but the gravity of this chaos impacts all other business in the House right now, from committee assignments, bills being passed and debated, even the swearing in of members of the House. Nothing can happen until a speaker is chosen. Now, McCarthy is going to have to decide at some point whether or not he wants to continue this push, he wants to go past a fourth vote, or he wants to throw in the towel, or perhaps he could figure out a way to try to get some of those votes, try to get some people on board that don't support him now. But yesterday, it was not. 3 strikes and you're out. Here's more from Kevin McCarthy.
You're sitting at 202 votes, so you need technically just 11 more votes to win. Is there anybody in the conference that can win? Okay, I don't think that's there, so we can go round and round. It'll either turn out that someone will make a mistake and elect a Democrat, or we're going to find a way to work together to be able to govern.
So this has essentially turned into a bit of a game of chicken, and it's really stunning and highlights the deep divisions and dysfunction that exist right now within the Republican Party. You know, there is a faction on the far right that seems to, no matter what, not like what McCarthy does. He's made some concessions. He said that he would support a rule that would make changing the speaker easier. That is not far enough for them. But someone the so-called Freedom Caucus does listen to, his word like gospel, the former President Trump. And Trump is weighing in today. We'll pull up a bit of what he said in a statement. Some really good conversations took place last night, and it's now time for all of our great Republican House members to vote for Kevin. Do not turn a great triumph into a giant and embarrassing defeat. Kevin McCarthy will do a good job, and maybe even a great job. Just watch. So this may have an impact, especially for those far-right members of the Freedom Caucus that idolize Trump. Here's more reaction from outside the House yesterday after those 3 votes.
If you want to drain the swamp, you cannot put the biggest alligator in charge of the exercise.
For the good of the country, the good of the Congress, and the good of the Republican conference, he ought to pull out.
I think the Democrats are enjoying this. I think Joe Biden is enjoying watching this. I really do. And I think that a lot of this small group of Republicans, and again, it's a very small group of Republicans, are actually giving the Democrats a win here. And I think they're enjoying it. I don't think they're going to give us a lifeline.
And so on that last point, the Democrats potentially giving them a lifeline. Well, the Democrats could vote in another vote for Kevin McCarthy. But, you know, the rule in politics here in Washington, it seems like if your opponent is doing something wrong, stay out of the way and continue to let them do that. A bit of history here, Arti. You know, McCarthy is now in the record books for all the wrong reasons. This hasn't happened on the House floor in a century. In 1923, it took multiple ballots, 9 over the course of 2 months to elect a speaker. And prior to that, it only happened 3 times before the Civil War. And one instance, it took 133 ballots over a 2-month period. So that just gives you a sense of what we're looking at right now.
Okay, well, certainly, I'm sure many people are hoping it doesn't go the way of history when we're talking about those record number of ballots. But we know, given how things went yesterday, this sort of standoff situation, people are looking at the options. So what are the options? What are the alternatives? Are there any other Republicans waiting in the wings? Yeah,
well, we'll see whether or not McCarthy can get this on the 4th vote. But when it comes to options, there's not really a ton of viable ones. The role of Speaker is a really difficult position, clearly shown over the past last day how crucial it is to have an individual in that spot that can unite the party and appeal to both conservatives and moderates within the GOP. Now, one name that has been floated around is Steve Scalise. He is the #2 House Republican right now, and he has publicly pledged his support for McCarthy. But there are whispers on Capitol Hill that if McCarthy drops out, Scalise might be a more palatable solution. But we'll have to see really what those hard right members of the Freedom Caucus say today once they arrive for this vote. And of course, everything gets underway around noon Eastern. We'll bring you all the details, Arti.
Thanks for this, Travis. That is the CBC's Travis Danraj in Washington.